Dragon Ball fam? It's your boy. Let me get the Discord out to see who we got in here today. Oh, I don't have my video on. I'm tripping. Okay, there's 5 of us. Alright, so we got myself, Giancarlo, Sublett, Mr. Faircloth, and Mr. Coombs himself. I guess we'll let Giancarlo start it off with introductions. Go ahead, my friend.
Hey everybody, what's up? Me and Sublett were at Gen Con. It was a cool trip. Gen Con. Oh yeah, Eddie was at Gen Con too, but he was judging. Say hello to Eddie. Well, you said you're retired now, right? You're officially a judge.
Oh yeah, no. For Bandai events, as long as they give me the go ahead to judge, I am officially for Bandai events. That is, Pro Play tours and all the other stuff, I'll play. But for Bandai events, if they give me the AOK, this boy's retired for those events. Except for Nats. His Nats, I don't think he can plus as much as a player topping. But we'll see. Yeah, go ahead. Give your introduction, friend.
Eddie, did you post that we were live on the Facebook?
Yeah, we live. I posted it. I don't know if you got approved, but I posted it.
I got you.
All right, so I guess after you, it's Mr. Coombs.
Hi, I was not at Gen Con, but I was paying attention to the results, and of course, the whole entire time just brewing new decks, thinking about the current metagame and nationals. And I'm really excited about how the metagame is going to shape up.
Hello. Yeah, I was also at Gen Con. I actually topped Chesko. Chesko and I have also actually been focusing a lot on this current meta, at least, because not enough of the new set has been revealed for nationals to really focus on it at this moment. But in fact, there's a video coming out soon where Chesko and I present all of the data that we have of top cut specifically, not top 16 at Gen Con, top 8, because that was what was considered top cut. And we talk about it. So, check that out.
Yeah, check that out on the Patreon. We're going to have, I think, like 2 or 3 videos uploaded to the Patreon this week. We're going to really start to kickstart the Patreon in terms of, like, putting out more content. So if you're not already subscribed, go ahead and subscribe and then keep a lookout for a lot more videos. And then Trey.
So I was keeping up with the event for the most part, looking at who was playing who and what rounds and whatnot, and I was banking on my boy Giancarlo to win the regional on the first day, and he technically did. My prediction was correct on the previous team talks. I predicted number 1 deck to be Icarus for the weekend, and it was across the board for 4 events. And if you were in the team talk watching that day, you knew to be prepared for that deck. And I said, if you cannot beat that deck, play something that can. Yeah. And Eddie and Reese also agreed. Even Reese switched over from red diehard player to play in the deck because
he did play Icarus.
Yeah, big facts. I think the last one we were all spot on. The only thing we missed was just one deck, which was King Cole. I mean, I didn't say King Cole. You guys love King Cole. I'm like, I don't know about King Cole progressive 3, but
I literally didn't even see it in the room.
I'm sure zero, like King Cole on one. I thought I saw 1 on one day. The other next day was 0.
There had to be at least one, but like first round one.
There's one day one. There's one day one, and then day 2 there was 0. So I was walking around looking around.
I was walking around the room. So in my head, coming into
it, a good deck. Underrepresented.
Yeah,
it's a great deck. I don't think it can come back to hand destruction after, because people forget. Yes, King Cole has his fat hand, but everything's like replaces itself. So, and I think that was the issue with King Cole and Best of 3 itself. So I guess we can start with Giancarlo. We do the same order. We'll talk about man. I guess we'll talk about the thing you expected to see and the thing that you didn't expect to see at Gen Con, man.
Yeah, so entering into the event, I expected the 2 most represented decks to be like a blue deck, and I should say a blue strategy of some kind, and Cell Surge. And I mean, I was right. I did not like expect a ton of people to be on Icarus. And they weren't like day one didn't have a bunch of them. Day two had more. Like a lot of people who were playing Soul Striker day one just switched to Icarus day two.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, well, that's like the better that's the better leader for the blue yellow package, so it makes sense. I don't think I was surprised by everything was like you look at top cut and it's the same meta that's been. I don't did any rogue decks top? I don't even think outside of U7 Gohan, which I mean, shout out to Chris for winning with that, but like I guess that's the only deck that really surprised me out of like the top cut looked really standard.
So it looks like all right. Here. I'll give you the exact top 8 of both of them. So day 1, top 8 was a U7 Gohan. You can consider that rogue. Kid Icarus is meta tier 1. Reboot Soul Striker is meta tier 2. Hatch is meta tier 2. SS4 Vegeta meta tier 1. Fuse Zamasu counter pick, meta counter call.
Oh yeah.
It sounded like someone called that on the T Talks when we said blue. I
told you guys. The only reason I wasn't surprised by that was because go ahead.
We'll let Sublett continue. Go ahead.
Go ahead, yeah, so go ahead.
All right. 7th was Invoker, that's a rogue pick. 8th was Sin Shinron, argue a tier 2-ish.
Yeah.
And then 2, we had Kid Icarus, Cell Surge, which is tier 1, meta tier 1. Vegeta Xeno on the border of tier 1 and tier 2. We have Sin Shenron again, same person, Eon Hill. Then we have another Kid Icarus. We have Vegex, which is arguably a rogue / tier 2 deck, somewhere in there. And then Reboot Soul Striker, again, another arguably borderline tier 1, tier 2, probably more tier 2 kind of deck. So as
the last one was Kid Icarus, not Reboot Soul Striker. The last one was Dahan.
Oh yeah, Dahan switched from Kid Icarus to Reboot. Yeah, I mean Reboot to Kid Icarus.
That last one was
I'm just looking at the results they passed. All right. Well, anyway, so the point is, there wasn't too much rogue. Day 1 had more rogue than day 2, which I honestly kind of expected. I expected people to go there for fun on Friday and for business on Saturday.
I think they got their brakes beat off from on Friday and just decided to conform.
Well, I mean, we saw that a lot, right? The MRG folks were almost all on Cell Surge day 1, and then day 2, a lot of them seemed to have jumped ship to Icarus, except Jordan. Jordan stuck through with Cell Surge. He got 3rd, so it paid off. But like Joey, for example, Joey was on Cell Surge day 1, didn't get top 8, and then switched to Kid Icarus and got 6th place on day 2. Yeah, I'm not surprised in the slightest bit that Icarus won the event day 2 and whatever day 1, because the deck does seem to be the strongest deck that we have in the meta right now in terms of consistency, not ceiling. I think that we have a lot of higher ceiling decks, but the thing about the high ceiling is they don't always reach it, and if the deck relies on that high ceiling, it's not going to do as well. But then you have something like Kid Icarus, which just draws, it. All right, what turn is it? Turn 3? Okay. This Zamasu. It's always got a really thick hand because it draws a whole bunch of cards. And as a result of that, it has this inherent consistency that several decks in this meta don't necessarily have as much of compared to Icarus. And so I think that we're going to continue to see this deck doing well. We're going to continue to see it coming close to winning, if not winning, because it's consistent. It's still doing what it always does. The odds of it pooping out are really small compared to something else. However, it can lose to something else's higher ceiling if they hit the moon. But ultimately, that's kind of it. I don't think the results are surprising in the slightest bit. I do think it's weird we didn't see as much SS4 Vegeta. However, it was very low representation in the room for SS4 Vegeta.
Yeah, there was barely any.
There was me day 1, and I didn't play in day 2. I didn't see another SS4.
They didn't make it though. Day 2 there was more. It was like I probably say
there were more day 2. Okay.
Yeah, but they didn't make it. They didn't survive.
It's not too surprising. It's kind of a control deck, a little bit more difficult to play. Not ultimately that much more difficult, but and if Kid Icarus is everywhere, then you actually have to be better than your opponent to win that match.
Yeah, it's really tough for
Yeah.
either player.
Yeah. The better player wins the Icarus versus Vegeta match usually, and if they're both the exact same level, then it's the dice that decides it. You go first, you're winning. You go second, they're winning. Which is exactly what happened when I played against Reitz. He won the dice roll. He won game 1. I won game 2 because I went first.
Yeah.
And then because 60 minutes is not enough time to play a best of 3 in this game anymore, it ended in a draw.
Wait, so question: you didn't feel that the benefit of SS4 kind of having the ability to balance out the play draw disparity? You didn't feel that being like an asset to you in that matchup?
What do you mean?
Because if you open UI Kamehameha and you're going second, you basically can guarantee a damage unless they negate your attack.
Right, Icarus can never negate the attack. They always charge a multicolor. If
Yeah,
you combo
so-
5K, you guarantee. So you actually just have to open with any of your 14 cantrips, be it the 6 1-drops, the UI, or the Zeno, and the damage is going through. However, if you go second, the problem is that you catch up like you're going first with the energy ramp, but you can never get that second energy ramp. If you attack Icarus, and you know that they know, I can't attack Chesko, for example, a second time with my leader, because all he's going to do is a rival Bojack and the Aegis and a rival the Ape, and it just gets way out of hand for me as a control deck.
Really quick.
It does.
Well, how are you?
Hold on. Because let me finish the explanation. Because now, first off, I can't push that second damage anymore, so I'm on 3 energy, not 4. Which a lot of my plays revolve around 4, not 3. And because I can't push that extra energy, by attacking him to try to push the extra energy, I actually advanced his game state while leaving mine in the dust. So going second is it's a 50-50 match. First versus second is like 51-49. It's not that polarizing. It's just simply the flow of the game, generally speaking, is going to be favored towards Icarus going first or towards Vegeta going first, all based on when Vegeta gets to that 4th energy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that makes sense.
I'll say there was one game Sublett pumped his leader to 35 and I still out comboed it. And I didn't out combo it at a disparagement. I just out comboed it. Like it was good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess the thing is that I was kind of expecting, right? Because we all talk pretty competitively, like in all of our chats all the time. And so my thinking heading into this weekend was like, if Icarus is like, everyone's playing this deck because it has the ability to use the combo step, right? So I want to do 2 things. I either want to be a deck that doesn't have to attack at all, or I want to be a deck that also plays in the combo step. So if I had to make a choice of what I was going to play, it would either be like a Cell Surge deck, not traditional hand destruction, or it would be launch. Like I would want to play something that's playing either a similar game, or I want to play something that does not play the game at all. Doing anything in between, you just get punished.
I don't think I've seen a single launch just walking around.
Which is crazy, because launch is so good.
But the issue with launch, it's 2 things, right? Launch is an arrival-based deck, meaning against any blue deck, you're going to get wrecked by Galactic Buster. Their arrivals come out, and then the Galactic Buster resolves and gets the Bojack, which means all your arrivals are pointless. They go straight to the bottom of the deck. And launch versus Icarus is another problem because you're right. You both use the combo step. However, at the end of the day, Icarus is a 2K or a 20K leader because of the combo. You're always comboing the little dragon. Icarus is a 20K leader. Launch is a 5 to 10K leader. And the amount of pressure that both decks can put on is entirely mitigated by that difference in power. Yeah. Launch one time can be a 25 with value. But if I've got 2 apes, Bojack, Zamasu to counterplay most of your stuff except like a 5-drop cooler, for example, it's not good enough. And then you look at the hand sizes, and Kid Icarus is just a fatter hand than Launch, which seems counterintuitive, but unfortunately that leader just draws so much on its awakened turn that it negates launches over the course of time, gain +1 advantage over the draws.
Which leads me to the point of I do not want to attack that deck like ever.
Correct.
I just want to charge, do a thing, pass my turn, and then just make this game go on forever.
So in my experience, when I played against decks that are like that, like they want to just try to establish a board, that 3-drop Trunks Unison becomes so broken. I'm gonna attack you regardless every time, and you're gonna eventually try to like play your little counterattack battle cards. Trunks is just gonna kill every single card you put on the board.
Also,
Trunks Unison for those confused.
So if you just pass against Icarus, they're just gonna start doing stuff on you on their turn. Then, like an Icarus player, if they have a Bojack established, they don't mind attacking you and comboing an 8.
Which is fine. I want to just make sure I'm playing a strategy that has an answer for that. Like I know it sounds silly, but cards like Vegeta the Cruel, or cards like just something that like gives me like positive tempo, and then allows me to like mitigate an advantage that they're going to gain on that turn. Like you have to play like, honestly, it feels like you're playing like a set 7 or set 8 deck where you just don't do anything. Like you just.
Yeah. That's what I was saying with SS4. I said I can't attack Chesko past that certain turn.
No.
I have to let him do stuff on his turn and me respond to it. Even when you do that, though, your deck needs to play to its strengths still. And so specifically, SS4 is not playing to its strength when it's not attacking. And that's the issue with those two. Launch is not playing to its strength if it's not attacking. So you'd have to play something like a baby deck. And unfortunately, its strength is very muted at the moment. So we don't have a deck that just doesn't attack the opponent. The best example of a deck that would fight Gohan Icarus would be something like Invoker. Invoker is a deck that doesn't need to do a single thing at all. And I honestly think Gohan Icarus would have a rough Invoker match.
Yeah, I agree. Now, if Invoker was still in the meta, it'd be tough because like I would have to summon my 1-drop Icarus on turn 1 just to give myself, or maybe turn 2, whatever, just to give myself more attacks to give me more chances at a rival. And even then you can kill it, I know, but like it's just something I would have to do.
And Final Flash becomes an important card. You only play 2 of it. Yeah. There are issues there. And then when Invoker gets to its win condition, 1 Zamasu is probably not enough.
Yeah.
Especially if you're trying to push damage, not going to be that good. Your secret rare is now an attacker. It doesn't actually do anything. The Kai just swings to the face.
Yeah.
And your cooler becomes, when do I play the cooler? Instead of this cooler is going to win me the game, it's going to stop the negate that stops it. Now the cooler is like, I need to stop one of these 8 negates this turn.
Yeah.
Violent Raise, Topo. Topo comes down, a bad Icarus player is going to Zamasu it. And then the Invoker player is like, cool. Come on, bring it on. Let's go. I'll summon it again. Ultimately, a deck like Invoker would be the hard counter to Icarus. And the format just doesn't have much
anymore.
Just doesn't.
I know Legends topped with Invoker, but I played against Invoker. I played against Sublett with Icarus, and it was like, this is. I don't.
Yeah, I won that one. I'm pretty sure.
No, you lost. You didn't. It just I didn't feel threatened. Like it's the same deck except like you're super. You literally lost. I remember.
Did we play a full set? I'm pretty sure I remember.
We played
hitting you with 6-drop in the face like 8 times.
I final flashed it.
Doesn't matter how many times you played it.
I discarded.
Yeah, you'll never kill with that Goku.
Oh, no. I remember. No, this cheeky son of a gun top deck final flash off the 1 life he got.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he drew like 47 cards across the course of the game.
No. It was the 1 life he got to get. That was the thing. No, he's right.
So real quick, while you guys are talking about that, let me answer these questions really quick so we don't fall behind. Shang, I posted a link of the Patreon at the bottom so you can catch up to that content that Sublett Giancarlo was talking about. Chris says people realize they can't play a deck as well as Butters. Oh, for King Cole, I honestly don't think that deck's a real best of 3 deck. Don't forget, guys, we talked about most of the times best of 1 webcam events are nice and all, but they're not best of 3, and that's going to show in the real life world.
It does not.
They're different formats. I mean, you see the decks that were winning the best of 1 are also winning the best of 3. But I mean, it's just a different
The results
format.
are very similar. The results are extremely similar.
Yeah.
Some decks are completely gone. Like completely gone. Like from best of 1 and best of 3, some of like the strategies you see in top cut are
miscellaneous rogue decks aren't going to show up.
Yeah,
we still see SS4 Vegeta and Icarus and Gogeta Xeno and Cell Surge. Like the meta is still there. It's very little when it comes to the top decks. The bottom will always change in best of 1 because you get high rollers. But the thing is, statistically speaking, they don't repeat those kinds of things. And also,
Android 18 mil is never going to be topping again. So.
Yeah.
Well, the funny thing about this comment about Butters, Butters wasn't even playing King Cole.
Yeah.
Butters was playing Soul Striker.
It is the funniest thing where everyone. We were chilling throughout the day, and everyone was giving him shit. It was so funny. And it was like you betrayed the people, bro. You were the chosen one.
Yeah.
But it didn't work out.
Oh, it's funny.
I'll say Sluggy Boy said Zamasu the Eliminator is carrying blue yellow decks to top tables. That is not true at all, bro. Like
what?
Versus blue, you snap, Giancarlo. Versus blue, yes it does, bro. You snap.
Just stop.
Versus blue,
you're cutting off the entire rest of the game.
You really
with
did.
a
Versus
blue.
Yes.
No. Y'all are listen. It's one card in the deck. Without Zamasu,
it's the best card in the format.
Yes, it is, bro.
Listen, y'all, chill out. Shut up. Listen. It's one card in the deck. The deck still draws a shit ton, and I can vomit my hand under the board.
This man is saying, please don't ban my deck.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's not carrying the decks. The one card is not carrying the decks.
Yeah, that card is carrying.
Yes, it is.
Absolutely not.
The card is centralizing.
It's a great card. It's a great card. It's very good.
Every person has to play around the card.
You would be surprised how many people don't. You'd be surprised.
But I'm saying it's like every person has to play with that card in mind.
Absolutely.
And if you're saying like that is not the thing that is making that deck like absolute tier 1, like you're crazy. Like it's if it didn't have that card,
I think it would be tier 1 without Zamasu. Yes,
I think you'd be weak to blue strategies.
You still beat the dog shit out of blue, bro.
Not as easy as you do right now. That's the thing he's trying to say. You could probably have a good matchup.
Jesco has never dropped a Zamasu against me for value though, and it still works just fine.
I play without Zamasu against Sublett's deck literally all the time.
Have you played Soul Striker Zamasu?
It's the best.
I would still be. Have you played Soul Striker?
Not that good, bro. Like Soul Striker is literally not that good of a deck. Like
that's right. When you play Zamasu, Soul Striker is not that good of a deck.
Exactly.
No, bro.
All right, so let's answer this next question. They want to know what is the next best green deck behind Cell and King Cole.
There isn't.
Yeah, I have.
I think you said it at the same time. I don't think there is. I think it's just Cell.
I think any green strategy that now starts to lean into 5-drop Boo from this recent set has a shot. Just because that card is super well positioned. Because it comes down and blows up every single thing.
But green. But there's a problem with that card. It just so for green specifically, getting to 5 energy means that you're playing dormants and stuff. You don't have the defense that a lot of decks require you to have right now, and so your value is very low. So when you play that card, its impact isn't as high. A lot of times, it's going to take a Unison. Like let's say against blue, right? The most impactful that card is probably going to be if you're not dead. Mind you, if you're not dead, is taking a Majin Buu Unison and an 8-drop Bojack, and of course your opponent loses 2 cards. I understand that it does a lot more. I get that. But then it turns sideways to attack and goes to the bottom of the deck immediately because of Galactic Buster.
But the problem is you're speaking from one specific position, which
I'm just saying for blue. I'm saying
from this one deck that I play, I have the edge against that card.
I'm not saying that I specifically am not saying this is the answer that's in my deck. I am saying in general, that wasn't even my deck. That was any blue deck. Any blue deck, which is very represented right now. Blue is, I think, the most popular color that you're going to see at an event.
It's yellow
I'm
now.
just talking.
After the second,
It's
I
probably
100%
yellow
think
now.
it's yellow.
Before,
Before,
but
yeah,
before
100% correct.
it's been
Yep.
blue. It's been blue.
100% correct.
And so I'm just saying blue cards. Majin Buu and Galactic Buster and Bojack. Those are just blue cards. We could talk about yellow.
Hold on. I would love to talk about yellow. I had that card played on me twice, and I just immediately won the next turn because they tapped out to play it.
Yeah.
And
it doesn't do enough.
Yeah.
Oh, the boo?
I'm not exaggerating. I had it played on me twice.
It's fine.
And both games, I immediately won the very next turn. And then like I asked the guy, I said, why not wait till turn 6? And that way you can dormant. And he was like, yeah, I should have done that. So to be fair, he could have waited until turn 6. That's a very fair strategy. But I mean, I also just killed it both times. Like what it was.
So I mean, what I'm saying is right. So ideally, the best pairing is to play it in Cell Surge, so you can play it, then use your Awaken skill to make everything come into play rest mode the next turn.
That's fair. That would be a very strong combination.
Then you time walk the opponent basically, and then it goes back to your turn. So you're sending the game even more. But what I'm saying is like if you're trying to play any green strategy and you're trying to play any fair game, which green has to play, you're probably going to have to play a card like that to be able to compete with the rest of the format. So it's like that's the point that I'm trying to make. Is not necessarily that it's like your best asset, but if you think about the rest of the format, all the blue decks, your Kid Icarus decks, you need some sort of massive board wipe or reset to even have a shot to play a long game. Like,
I think
that's fair.
Yeah, I agree there. That's fair.
To Coombs' defense, I did see exactly what he said though. People were playing the cell. People were playing out in cell and just popping off the effect. I did see that as I was walking around. So
I also like Majin Buu, not Majin Buu, but Majin Vegeta AOD Unison and Cell Surge. Mm-hmm. That's something something like I just didn't see people play. But when I was playing against, I played against 2 Cell Surges, and like both games, I was like, man, I really hope he doesn't have this card. Like in all honesty, I was like, I hope he doesn't have that shit. Because it would have just been bad. It might not have won him the game. Because also in my experience, Cell Surge absolutely has to use that the time lock, whatever you want to call it, like very early against Icarus. Usually on turn 5 they were out of material just because of the way like Icarus is just gonna play that matchup. But like both times, every time I played Cell Surge, I was like, "Well, I hope they don't have it." Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, that's the reason why like I've personally steered away from the pure hand destruction variant. It can't win that matchup. Like that matchup is not good.
Yeah,
like,
you're right.
Yeah,
for sure.
Like, and if that's going to be the number 1 deck in the format, like, there's no point in trying to play that game. Like, they draw 2 to 3 cards a turn. Yeah. Like,
it was game 1 against Eric Hill. I think I had 12 cards in hand on turn 5. That was game 1 before siding into Bora. So I was like, oh, okay, well, I literally and he was out of material. He had been discarding some, and I was like, okay. I was like, I cannot lose this game. Like it was.
No, that's just how it was. You can't, because like the hand destruction variants have to basically create a dominating board state by like turn 4. And if they aren't, then that game is over. Like, because what are they going to do? What are they going to present? What threat? How are they going to kill you? If your hand size isn't 0 or like between 4 and 0 on turn 4, then I don't know how they have a shot because they don't have resources.
Yeah, without tapping all of their energy just to refill their hand, and then I still have my hand, and they're not doing anything to affect anything other than their own hand. It's just not going to go down like that.
Mm-hmm.
I think a lot of the Cell Surge results we see are because it's such a polarizing deck. You'll see tournaments with no Cell Surge, and you'll see tournaments with Cell Surge. And honestly, I think it's just these guys over here win against the SS4 Vegetas in the room, and these guys over here win against the Icarus.
It's matchups for sure.
Sublett, do you want to talk about how you won your Surge matchup with your SS4 deck?
Yes, I did. I'm so good at this game. I top deck 17 on 7 energy. Should have played around it.
This is so funny, bro. I was watching him play, and I was like, "Well, doesn't look good." Draw for turn 17. I was like, I knew it. I knew my boy could do it. It was so funny.
He had like an 8-card hand.
Yeah, he had so many. And to be fair, he drew Rosie off the top. He did draw Rosie right off the top.
It's so insane though.
Didn't matter.
Yeah.
It didn't matter. Yeah.
But so because I drew Majin Buu Unison off the top.
Yeah.
You got to be good sometimes, guys. But so I think that Cell Surge, I don't like to put it in tier 1. It's so polarizing compared to something like Icarus and SS4 Vegeta. Like, we're seeing those top constantly, and we're seeing their matchups, and their matchups are very 50-50 or 60-40 in a lot of cases. But when you look at Cell Surge, it's like, this is my 80-20 match, and this is my 20-80 match.
Yeah.
And so it's the ceiling deck of our format right now. It's got that nice ceiling, but its consistency as far as matchups go is not as strong, unfortunately. Which is sad because green just never gets a chance to shine, right? Like, it never matters what the format is for green.
Give it to them. But
I mean, yeah. But like I said, even game 1, like I was 2-0ing Cell Surges. Like I played 2, right? So it's not like I was losing game 1 and then siding in anti-hand destruction cards. It's even in best of 1, you're gonna probably beat that Cell Surge hand destruction deck with Icarus. So like Sublett said, if I'm playing Cell Surge, I either high roll or low roll whatever deck, you know what I mean? And that's whether I'm going to top or not.
Yeah, which speaks to the adaptation that I hope people end up making, where you have to play the game based on the board that's being presented to you, and you have to try and win the game. Like, my mantra is, I do not start turning my cards sideways until I'm winning. And I don't care how long that takes. I don't care if it's turn 7, 9, 15. Like, I'm just going to keep responding to your cards that you're playing. And then eventually something will happen. I'll play a turn in the tide, or I'll play a 5-drop boot, then leader ability to buy a turn, or I'll do all these things, and then I can guarantee myself the victory. Is it fun? Is it exciting? Not even close. It's the most boring thing you can do. But it's effective because that's the way DPS is played. Like, people have to attack and commit things to the battlefield, and if you can punish that, you're going to be successful.
So the one thing that bothers me about that concept is, why not be the person that is attacking, if that makes sense? Why not be the person
that's the one who loses most of the time, Trey?
No, I'm saying, why not play the deck that prefers to be the attacker rather than the person that prays that they can get out of the situation against the best deck? Like why not just play the better deck?
Well, I mean, the better deck is contextual. Like, it's all based off of the way a format is currently set up. And so, if a format is set up in a way where being completely reactive is beneficial, which right now I feel like that's actually a really good spot to be in. I feel like if you can play and react to every single deck in the format, since there is no good aggro decks, I think you're in a prime position. But I think this week was a great week to be Icarus because it was so mid-range. This format was so mid-range this week that it could just be the best mid-range deck. Whereas like now, since okay, well, if my target is Kid Icarus and everyone's revolving around that, and they have to play cards on my turn to get their most value, well, I just want to respond to them all day. But there's nothing wrong with playing the best deck. You see what I'm saying? But I'm saying if I'm trying to approach the format from a counterpoint, I want to start my attack by not attacking, by only engaging on my terms, by those things. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Like, one deck that does have a decent matchup against Icarus, seeing as they draw so many cards, is one of my favorite decks, Cooler, because it just reacts. I do have to swing to gain some advantage, but I can easily just wipe the field with a Bojack or clear your entire board whenever I choose to. But the Unison gameplay is the problem where the Cooler dies. So you have to be prepared to interact with the Trunks Unison. And if you cannot really get rid of it, it's over. And
which is why you have to lean into playing also yellow, and you have to play Zamasu the Eliminator. Like it's like your only option.
In my opinion, like Cooler is exactly as good as OG Broly, because both are like cool decks with like really high ceilings and really cool strategies. But you literally just lose the game when you don't see your card, and you have no you have Beer Super Combo and Cooler, and you have Field Spell and Broly. You build your entire deck around drawing this one card, and you still don't draw it, and you still lose because you didn't draw it. And it's even worse in Cooler because you want to draw as many copies as possible. I just don't think Cooler is a deck I could ever take to a real tournament, because it's like that. As soon as that one game hits where I don't draw my one card, okay, well that sucks. You know, And I even like the tricolor cooler list that I saw because that doesn't live or die by seeing cooler Beerus super combo. Like you can just you combo 8 from hand to arrival the new Beerus arrival, which triggers your leader and blah blah blah. It's just I'm over like because I played OG Broly a lot. I'm over playing a leader where I just lose the game because I don't draw one card. Like that's something I can do for I do that at locals all week. I don't care about locals. But would I have gone to Gen Con with a deck like that? No. Would I go to even one of these 64-person regionals? Well, I probably wouldn't go with a deck like that. You know what I mean?
I think that what you said, Coombs, was interesting. You play yellow to play Zamasu, and that a lot of decks maybe should play yellow to play Zamasu. I think that brings up an interesting point and kind of like something we haven't seen since Surge Piccolo, which was the death of 4-drops and below. Back in Surge Piccolo days, Vegeta the Cruel existing, his very existence meant if your 4-drop didn't have barrier, you weren't playing it.
Correct.
And we see that again now with Zamasu. But what we're not seeing is people adapting to it.
Exactly.
And that's a problem. Like Soul Striker should not be a deck at all right now. Because the very existence of Zamasu says that your deck loses. Like somebody in the comments mentioned Spirit Boost Soul Striker. You lose the game the second they charge a blue-yellow. Because your cards require a Unison. And I promise you're not playing one that game. So I think that a lot of the power we see in Zamasu right now is a lack of preparedness on the meta. Don't get me wrong. Zamasu is an incredibly powerful meta-defining card. Just like Vegeta the Cruel was back in the day. But I think that we will see, as people adapt to it more, a transition from it being the best card to it just being the line where your deck draws, right? Like the line in the sand kind of thing, instead of the castle in the sand.
Well, it's something that's like, go ahead, finish your point.
And then I was just going to close it with, and I think that its very existence will also make Bandai print Unisons with Deflect.
That's insane. Yeah. That's insane.
And then there will be less player one.
Or just a Rada card to make it work as it probably was intended. It was probably only meant to hit battle cards.
Exactly. No, they absolutely meant for it to hit Unisons.
That's so crazy.
It's crazy. No, you're right. It's a stupid, crazy card. It does so many things. It shouldn't be a checkland. It shouldn't be a Champa the Trickster. Denial of Hope was good enough. Why is it an indestructible Champa the Trickster checkland? What the crap? But the card itself is so cool. And I'm more of a control player. So when I see some kind of a counterplay option, I just smile from ear to ear. I'm like, this card's awesome. It'll slow the game down.
It does.
Really, yes, it does. But the moment we get a deck that doesn't revolve around a Unison that's an aggro deck, it dies.
I was about to say, like, the immediate best strategies that, like, just counter, like, you playing that card in your deck is stuff that just play stuff for one. Like,
or two. Or free. Don't forget free.
Like, free, yeah. But you know what I mean by, like,
was that noise your computer or your brain?
It was both, right? There's a lot of decks that just I think could do well against just having Zamasu in your deck. Is like I said, anything that just plays stuff for one energy, kind of like a rival based decks. The Gohan Icarus mirror match also is a deck where you just play a bunch of cards I don't know, anything you play for one or two, whatever. I don't know. I lost my train of thought halfway through my sentence. Go on.
Yeah.
Just go on.
I know that me personally, the adaptations I've been making is that I'm either in decks where I play Unisons, I'm just leaning into one cost Unisons because you can either just play them for one or, for instance, Giant Force Bio Broly. That card is actually just really good, whether it just be on turn for one energy or on for 5 energy.
What? What is this Unison you're saying?
Bio Broly Giant Force, bro. Broly, dude. Y'all never seen that card, bro?
No.
It's +1 discard one. I've seen it.
No, it's plus one. No, bro. It's plus one discard one to draw a card. And then
I was going to say Demigro. What the fuck?
No, bro. No, just listen. Hear me out. And then then you have a -4 that's discard 2 cards from your opponent's hand at random, and then it becomes a 25k dual attacker. Like the card is good either for 1 energy or it's good for 5. Demigra, great Unison, same thing. Blue decks starting to explore things with Pan and Giru Unison. There are a lot of 1-cost options that exist that I'm just saying to explore. I'm not saying they're the best thing around.
I got you.
I'm just saying
you can also
every
go
time
with
I sit in the toilet, my friend. I see how one drop will just drop.
yo, bro.
Duval
that's
says
some good toilet paper.
yeah, Duval put a comment real quick, which I was
The
gonna
voodoo
point
hands?
to. That's how he looks coming out my ass, dude. He's like,
real quick, I want to respond to Coombs' thing. 1-drop Unisons are really good right now, and 4-drop Unisons are also really good because you can just play them for 5 for no loss of real value or tempo.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because Majin Buu is the easiest example there, but there are other examples as well.
Yeah.
Protector of the Earth.
Green Broly Unison is very good if you pay 5 for it because
that's true.
It still clears the board when it comes down, and you still have access to things like Dormant, unless you're Cell Surge. Like the Unisons that are bad right now are the 2-drops and the 3-drops that need to be played on 3. Those are the bad ones, but maybe that's okay. 2 and 3-drop Unisons historically have been absolute nutter butters. Have you read Piccolo? Have you read the red 2-drop Piccolo Jr. Unison? I'm happy there's a counterplay for that jack off. Have you read Parasite? The baby Parasite. Counterplay. Love it. I think it's cool that we can interact with these cards that we really haven't been able to interact with all that well before. There have been interactions, of course, but they've all been like negate its skills or tap it or something stupid. Actually counterplaying the Unison itself added a whole new layer to the game. That just takes some time to get used to.
But yeah, I mean, I would think it's a natural evolution of the way the game is played.
Yeah, unfortunately, Zamasu as the first one is maybe a little overpowered, but it's still cool. I like that it exists.
On the topic of Zamasu, his response to it was, you just need to play cards that punish holding up for Zamasu. And then he said the example that he used was the multi-black Goku Black. It's the 4-drop. I was going to point that out later on, but not for that reason. That is a card that I saw on a lot of tables, my friend. That Goku Black just spitting out 4. I even know there were blockers.
Oh, yeah.
I thought it was a Bunny. I mean, it is a Bunny except with blockers. So that's a card moving forward that it's not restricted to blue, right? You can play it at any color leader, right?
So here it is. I'll read it to you. So this is SS Rose Goku Black Epochal Schemer. It's a 4-mana 20k. It costs 1 blue and 1 yellow specified. Energy exhaust, of course. It has deflect and double strike. And 2 autos. Auto at the end of your turn. Switch one of your multicolor blue-yellow energy to active mode. Broken. And 2, the second auto, when this card is played from your hand, play 4 shadow tokens, which are 0-mana 10ks that are also 0-mana 5k combos. Or no mana 10k, right? 0 mana, yeah. And they gain blocker until the end of your opponent's next turn.
That's why.
Meaning this card serves 2 major purposes. It is either Baby Hatch, or it's a 40k double strike to your opponent's face.
Combo card. Yep.
Yeah, it's both. Yeah, it's a really good card. I was not maining it, and then the only mirror match I played all day, it was like the first mirror match I ever played was against Duval, and he played it against me, and immediately I was like, I wish I was main decking that card. I was like, yeah, shit's pretty good. Like I was siding it, but I was like, all right, you know what? That's pretty good the main board. Like, and it's just like if you expect to see the mirror match, like which now, like to be fair, like I was just hoping I wouldn't see the mirror match. I was being a little stubborn. Like I said, like I wasn't even citing Kuitsukai. I went into the tournament hoping I didn't see it, which is like I was unprepared for it. Like I didn't play test it at all. I was just hoping I wouldn't play it. That though you just like something like that is a card you absolutely main deck that is really good in the mirror match. And yeah, like every time Duval, he either blocked 3 attacks or he just swung with his leader and comboed all his tokens into a shotgun champa. And he got like 30k extra combo off of 1 card. And that's a lot of combo to get off of 1. Even though it costs 4 energy, that's a lot of extra combo to get off of 1 card.
That you cannot respond to because of deflect.
That's why you play Dark Eye or Black Mass Sand, bro. So you have to pitch.
Cling, cling, cling. That thing will not stay alive this format, bro. It's like
I killed a lot of dark. I did kill a lot of DP BMSs.
Yeah,
that's a cool card. When you play it against Icarus, they Zamasu something else.
Yeah, and
the next thing you play and trap the Black Mass Sand, and then Zamasu attacks.
That's exactly
you guys just don't want it enough. You just don't want it enough.
Don't want what enough?
You just don't want it enough, man. You can make it happen if you wanted it enough, but you just
I don't think so.
It's not the type of guy that wants it enough.
That wants the BMS? What do you mean?
You just don't want it, man.
And what do we want? What do we want?
I want to play against blue decks. That's what I want. I know what I want. I wanted to play Icarus, and I wanted to play against blue deck. I'd have beat you if we played. It's whatever, bro. It doesn't matter.
Oh,
why were you bullshit, bro? Sublett's lying because guess what? Sublett was siding 10 cards in case he played me, and I was siding 0 cards in case I played him. So, let's be honest there. Come on.
I sided 4.
4, 10. What's the difference? What's the difference, dog? 4, 10. It doesn't matter.
So
I mean, I'll 2-0 you anyway.
Yeah, we are. Hold on. Quick Patreon plug. Me and Sublett are recording a SS4 versus Goku, SS4 Vegeta versus Icarus for the Patreon. Similar to the ones we used to do on our old YouTube channel.
We'll settle it there.
And so we'll just figure it out there. But I am going to be siding 15 cards against SS4. So we'll figure it out.
Are we actually going to side deck?
Yeah,
you should side it. You should probably do a 3 out of 5.
That would absolutely take way too long.
2 pre-boards and then 3 post.
No, that's not
fine, but you got to use your Gen Con side deck.
Yeah, we were going to use our Gen Con side deck. I was just kidding. Okay.
That means you have 0 cards from, like you just said.
It doesn't matter. What do I need to side against SS4? Honestly,
if you lose, boy,
I'm gonna lose. I have never once beat. We did about 10 of these videos, and I have never once won. It is what it is, dog.
Spoiler
I'm gonna lose. It's fine.
Spoiler alert, guys. Spoiler alert.
It's the matchup itself is just not that bad for Icarus. It's a very close, very even tempered matchup. The problem is that Sublett is going to play 17, and then he's going to draw freaking the Vegeta Protector of the Earth off the top. That's when we played. That's what would happen. That's how the game would go. He would 17, I would Zamasu. I'd be okay, and then he'd draw Baby Hatch or draw Galactic Bus every time. It happened every single time. That's how all of our matchups went.
Also, Chesko, you side Jiren. You did side cards for me.
What did I side in? I sided in Jiren, yes, of course. Yeah, that's for any blue deck.
See, he's like, I don't side any cards for
That's for any blue deck. I didn't side that in case I played you.
Italian bravado you got going on there right now, man. You shut your mustache up.
That's fair. Whatever you say, boss.
Let's start off with closing comments because it's about that hour mark, so we don't.
Comments, Jesus, are we done?
I know. Normally we go on for hours, but all right.
No, that's not.
Eddie's tired.
Fast.
Let me see what. All right, yeah, Giancarlo starts off. The only other comment we have is Sublett loves to sack Giancarlo. So yeah,
it's okay.
I love this sack Giancarlo. Oh yeah,
it is. I'm used to it. It is. It's been happening since a long time.
Except that Disaster Dragon match where you.
Oh yeah, that was a good one.
Scores
off the top. Yep. That's how you win. Scores off the top. Anyway, closing comments. Yeah, Gen Con was awesome. I thought, shout out to everyone, all of the judges except Eddie. No, I'm just kidding. Just shout out all the judges who worked hard over the weekend to have all the TOs. The game is so fun right now. Even if you don't want to play one of the tier 1 decks, the game is super duper fun right now. I'm fiending super hard to play more Dragon Ball. I really want to go to Richmond in a month or something, but we'll see.
October. Yeah.
October. I'm gonna try to go.
Event, guys, for those watching the stream. It's a Bandai event coming up. I don't know if they're doing a good job advertising it, but it's a Bandai event coming up. That's a 256 player cap, which will give out invites. If you do not have your invites, I highly recommend you go.
Yeah. I want to go really bad, but I don't know. We'll see where the dice land, right? Other than that, yeah, man. I mean, I had Gen Con was a super fun weekend, even though I don't particularly enjoy the tournament rules. I think it is super lame that the shit ended at 5 rounds. It's just this happens at like every regional. Is like we just get screwed over by some people drawing. They're not drawing on purpose. They're just drawing because that's the way the game is right now. You're gonna have draws. I just wish this one rule would change. Other than that, I still really like. I had such a good time at Gen Con, man. That's it, you know.
Mr. Coombs.
Yeah, it was awesome to see the results of the weekend. Shout out to the team for doing an amazing job. We had a lot of top placements. Easily, in my opinion, this seems to be the best conglomerate of DBS players on the planet right now, with the most consistent tops, some of the best players, best minds, all in one chat. I'm excited to see where the format goes from here. I think we have the ability hit leading in the Nationals to break it. I think this is a great team to be able to do that. So I'm excited about what we do going in the Nationals. And just thanks for everybody tuning in tonight and to all the content, moving forward. I'm excited to talk more about this new format.
Yeah, real quick, just to piggyback on what you said. Yeah, I can't wait for Frisco to build the deck I play.
That's fact. That's facts.
Mr. Sublett.
Yeah. Check out our videos. I don't have anything else
Check out the Patreon for more content incoming. Trey.
Give us your money.
I do want to say something because it's been a common thing that's been talking about it, like my locals group chat, and I just want to know what you guys think about it. So basically, I've been terrorizing our local with Kid Icarus for at least the good portion of the last 5 months. Whenever I do play the deck, I haven't lost. So like people think as soon as I started playing it back with the new format after the ban list, everybody knew that it was going to be really good. But people had, bright ideas. Oh, this format's going to be open, yada, yada. And then I kept talking about the deck. And then now everybody's playing it, right? Now they're thinking my deck is like, I don't like to play the best deck at my local. Like, I don't like to be the guy that is playing the best deck. But, it's just the deck I played. Now everyone's going to be... Well, they already are. They're already complaining about Aegis Bojack in the chat and saying that they feel like they have to try hard to have fun at locals now.
They should have to try hard. Tell them to shut up and get good. What the hell, bro?
Yeah, that's pretty much what I've been hearing in chat. They feel like they have to try super hard now. And
Trey, you didn't even have a good build. You said you played Icarus for 5 months and never once did you ever have a good build of the deck. So now that I actually came in and fixed your deck for you, now they have even less chance of winning. And tell them to get good.
I think if anything, Trey, this is an opportunity for you to help your locals get better by helping them counter the deck. I think you should take the time and work on a counter to the deck with them, and then just see how tournaments play out. That way, they have a good time because they have a shot against you, and then you have a good time because you're testing the deck you enjoy playing against builds that you think have a chance to beat you. So I think that way it ends up being a win-win for you and your locals, and you kind of build more of that camaraderie in your group as opposed to them thinking you as public enemy number one, or you're the person that's the turncoat because you're playing the best deck.
Trey, I'll come to your locals, dog. I'll help you lose, dog. Don't worry about it. I'll help you lose.
No, but here's another way to look at this, right? So so for example, one of the guys plays Gogeta Zeno, and the week before he played KP, right? And he just wanted to try it out against me. It was absolutely disgusting. He can't resolve the Unison. He never drew cards because I'm just kill. Once I ever do, Zamasu, I rest his little. What's the card that
Piano
combo?
Piano,
I rest Piano and then I kill it with the Zamasu. So it's pretty bad. That matchup was terrible. He had no fun. He was complaining basically the whole night about how he wasn't having fun with that. Then he came in the next week and he had a ton of fun, quote unquote, playing Gogeta Zeno, which is arguably the second or third best deck. And then in today's chat, they were talking about they wanted to have a weekly tournament, monthly tournament where we ban certain cards and certain leaders. And
no.
I'm like, no, we only get one time a week. We got one time a week to play, and then we have to play something we don't typically play in. That's not real good practice for you guys to get better. That type of thing. So the basic conversation is, every time something gets banned, people start to look for something else to complain about.
Something else, yeah.
So the problem is DBS and trading card games. It's escalation. whenever, like, let's say the top layer gets removed, the best players, best minds are just going to find that next broken thing.
Yes.
Like, and then that's going to be the thing that becomes the top layer. And then people are going to complain about the top layer. And then the thing is right now, the top layer happens to actually be really healthy and lead to a lot of interactive gameplay.
Absolutely.
So
100%.
the only way to feel like you're having fun in this format is to actually get better at the game, which is crazy.
Yeah.
I know everyone just wants to play turn 2 kill decks and just have limited decision making. But no, it's like you actually have to come up with strategies from start to finish, learn how to play matchups, and then that's how you gain your edges. So if anything, Trey, I would just take this advantage when you go to your locals. Be that person that teaches, bro. Subscribe to the PPG Patreon. Like
Trey doesn't know that, bro. Trey enjoys farming up them TPs, broski. Trey's like, bump this, man. I got my
like
TCG
that.
player
For
now.
example, right? I literally will tell my opponent when they mess up and let them take it back.
Yeah, I do the same thing at locals, bro. Yeah,
I literally say, for
You do
example,
the same thing at regionals.
I do the same thing at
right,
regionals.
right.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here, right, and then I'm playing against Jesco, and then to my diagonal, somebody's playing this guy. He's not very like competitive, but he plays the same gear.
He's a local player, yeah.
Yeah, well, obviously he's young. He's a young guy. But anyways, so he's playing red Jiren, and he doesn't know that he can +1 his Unison.
And we
just
for no reason, bro. I'm dead. That's not the deck's problem. That's let me not say it.
Yeah, but I'm saying I literally will be like, bro, you forgot to use your effect, and I'll continue to like. I'm like, I hope you don't mind, but you gotta start, like, you guys need to help each other, like, make sure you guys are playing at best so you can get better. Like, you can't play against someone messing up over and over and expect you feel like you're doing good because you beat that player because they messed up the entire time.
I think it's really important in this instance to talk about like testing, because I think a lot of people like stay in their own lane too much. And I think if you're testing or you're playing in your shop, I think you should have as many eyes as possible in the game and trying to find those lines and like trying to talk through those things. Whereas a lot of time people just show up to their locals, they just play their match against their opponent, and then they get salty because they lost really bad. But it's like they're not seeing the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 decisions that they could have made differently to have some sort of impact on the game. Like, and I think that's usually what ends up being lost at competitive play in general, is just those opportunities to like have everybody looking and like dissecting the situation so you can actually get some value out of it, as opposed to just like losing your game and then being upset.
And that sounds like the great episode for the next team talk session. So we have
actually this is a great topic. Yeah, we'll talk about this next time.
So the closing comments I have, I have to answer these questions first. There's a question: Is playing Rosie into Zamasu counterplay good or bad?
Yes, okay.
Sir. Yes, sir.
It depends on the context, right? So if you're playing Cell Surge, I'm assuming any hand destruction deck. Okay, if you're playing Cell Surge on turn 3, if you're saying instead of playing the Unison, you play Rosie, I'm just not going to counterplay it because you're not going to attack me. And if you attack me, you just lose the game. So I'm not going to counterplay it. If I'm at 2 life, then I am going to counterplay Rosie. So, like, I guess depending on the context, like, if you just drop Rosie on turn 3, that is the correct play for the deck, but I just don't care as the Icarus player. Like, I'll just discard my 2 and not counterplay it because you're not going to attack me with it. So why would I counterplay it?
Well, I mean, even if you just look at the exchange on resources, they're paying 3 energy to make you discard a card. You're paying 2 to tap their thing. Yeah. So, like, even you're paying less, and yes, you're giving up a card, but you're drawing a new card. So, like, that's not even a big loss for you if you decide to counterplay it.
Oh yeah. Also, it depends on how many Zamasu. If I have like 2 Zamasu, then I would probably counterplay it. If I have 1, then I'm going to save it for your Unison. If I have 2, then I'll probably counterplay it just to draw a card, whatever. Yeah. I just know like you're not going to attack me with it, so I'm not afraid to like. I don't need to be afraid of Rosie because I'm probably at 6 life. If you attack me with it and let me awaken a turn early, and you're tapped out, you just immediately lose the game. So like, I'm not afraid of a Rosie on turn 3. But yeah, it's pretty whatever.
Mr. Sublett, thoughts on that subject?
On playing Zamasu and Rosie, what Jessica said is exactly correct. If you have multiple Zamasus, Or if your life is really low and you don't have a Sensu Bean or any good cards in your hand for some reason, you can Zamasu to tap down the Rosie, and then it's not actually a threat. You lose 2 cards, but you gain a body on the board and draw a card. Zamasu being a body on the board against green is one of the most important things in the entire match, because indestructible means that anytime they use their Broly Unison, you're just like, I'll choose that one, and nothing happens. So it negates half of their Unison's effect. Ultimately, the exchange is almost always worth it unless Zamasu is the only one you have in your hand, and you feel like the Rosie is bait so that next turn they can play the Unison.
Yep.
If your opponent does it on turn 3 and taps out and doesn't have a Unison, it also might just be worth doing so that you can kill them on the next turn and have an extra body to swing with if you need it.
Mr. Trey, thoughts on the subject?
Like, that's just like you need to know what are you playing though. We're just saying turn 3 because that's like so broad.
I think just in general, I think just think of it in just broad spectrum, like general playing.
Is the payoff worth it? Like, is
it worth
tapping through to guarantee rip 2 just to play?
If my hand looks like normal, where I have like 15 cards in hand and I have like multiple cards that are, I feel like I want to cycle, like I want to keep cycling my cards so I can actually play. I'll just go ahead and Zamasu it, because most likely they're going to try to make me pitch 2 more anyways, or they're just afraid that I still have a Zamasu in my hand anyway, so they're just not going to pay 3 for their Unison anyways. They'll wait till turn 5 to play your Unison like they would normally. So this really depends if you have multiple in your hand.
All right, cool. So, Coop, I hope that.
I also have no one that plays that deck near me, so I will probably never play against that deck. So,
all right, Coop, I hope that answers your question. Where did I leave off? Duval says Gogeta Zeno's 2 on favor versus Icarus. Black does not have tools there. Yes and no. I think Black has tools, but just thinking about Gen Con really quick on Black decks. I seen day one. I seen one soul playing Dark Broly. I seen 2 people playing Gogeta Zeno, and I seen 2 people playing the Jax. I'm trying to think about other Black decks. Day 2, there was some Mecha Guerreros. I'm trying to think what other Black decks have I seen. That was it. So Black in these tournaments, that's just walking around was just non-existent. Like pretty much that's less than 10, right? I just said 2, 2, 1, and then 2. Yeah, 2, 4, 6, 7. Yeah, 7.
I do like. I know it's kind of a meme, but I actually really do like the Power Thirst leader because he's an untapped 2 leader. And I also like the ability to recycle the Supreme Kai of Time Negate that negates attack or something. And I also like the way that Demigra is positioned against Zamasu counterplay. Because since it's a 5, like, yes, it can still be tapped, but having a 30k on board is something that is it's not easy to deal with. And if it resolves, then it just picks up a lot of value over the course of the game. So I think Black has a place. It's just, how do you beat everything else too? Like, it's a difficult question to answer.
Yeah. So yeah, my comment was not that Black doesn't have a place. It was just I don't think Black was played, and like the top players didn't just play Black, because that's what I'm getting for GemCon. It's not that it's dead. Like Gogeta Zeno's not dead. I seen 2 players playing Gogeta Zeno on day 2. I think it might have been 2 or 1, and that one, the only one that I saw ended up in top 4. So I don't think the next day. I just don't think people are playing Black. And they came to red. This is my closing comment. Just give me every color. It's red. I saw probably like 3 to 4 starter Vegetas, 1 King Piccolo, 3 Jirens.
A red Jiren on
I was gonna say, yeah. At least there was 3 Jirens. 2 out of the one of them didn't do so well. 2 out of 3 of them were in top tables until the final rounds. One of those 2 was at top undefeated till like he lost his last 3 out of 4 rounds, and the other one was at table 2. Going into the suggestion final rounds before that whole thing with Duval and Rios, but he lost at table 2. So I still think that deck there's something there. I'm not going to talk about it no more because I'm actually going to play the next event, and I'll just show you guys versus.
Oh yeah. If my card, I'm playing Jiren at a regional on Sunday. If my cards if they get in the mail on time, which fingers crossed, I had to order a bunch of cards to play the deck, but.
Yes, so 100%. Oh yeah, there's another question too. He said thoughts on Jiren. 100%. I think Jiren has a place in the meta. I just don't think Yeah, the reason why I say Jiren has a place in because one thing I'm not going to go too much into it. It's just it was at top tables. It didn't finish what it's supposed to do, but it was at the top tables. Like the last round, it lost a table 2 and got knocked out of top 8. So it has a place there. Blue, we talked about blue.
It's a rough blue matchup though, and that is not good in this format.
Nah, I don't believe so. I don't believe so.
Have you seen what Majin Buu Unison does to that deck?
That's fine.
Does a lot.
Okay, cool. So blue kills Jiren, guys. Don't play Jiren. So blue decks.
Well, I mean,
I'm trolling.
You 7 won an event, bro.
There was one. I'm not gonna even go there. There's the one red Gohan U7 player that I saw, and I'm not gonna even talk about that.
Juan Jincon, dude. Juan Jincon. If that's not on your radar, bro.
Don't.
Juan Jincon.
And it will never see.
So good. Lost a game and still won.
Broken.
Moving on, going to blue. we've seen surprisingly, not that many SS4s. I don't know why. I think the deck's a solid pick. It was Sublett. I want to say about 2 other SS4s that I saw on day 2.
Or Vegeta.
The one you
no. Excuse me. The one that you played, the blue one. Sorry, I've heard this SS4s now.
Yeah.
The SS4 for some reason I don't know why. There was a lot more Soul Striker than there was that.
There was a crap ton of Soul Striker. It was weird.
Yes.
Because Soul Striker can play Zamasu.
Yeah, and then
they weren't.
No, it was a Frisco's build. So the Spirit Boost.
Yeah, no, that was just only one build. That was fake.
Frisco will play a deck in event just to prove that it is better than it's better than garbage, right?
Yeah.
He'll prove it.
Yeah,
that's why I'm playing Jiren, because I wanted a deck to challenge me.
But then he moved on.
That was a challenge.
Like Frisco then moves on to the next thing. So it's like
right.
if you're playing Spirit Boost, you're already a week behind.
Yeah.
When it comes to Frisco decks, it's pretty funny.
But that's what people were on.
I'm just saying what I saw. Yeah, I'm not saying what's good or not. I'm just like,
I know.
Yeah, walking around.
You're right, Eddie. There weren't many SS4s in
that was surprising.
in-person event.
Yeah,
it dominated the online event as far as top cut goes. And SS4 has actually dominated of the 5 events that we have, the top cuts, SS4 is the one that has the most tops.
So I want to take a second here because you're on the topic of SS4 and say that there is a team talks we did a while back where your man said SS4 was a good deck, bro.
Yeah,
but that's when Dark Broly and King Vegeta.
I'm just saying though. It's always been good. It just needed a little bit of help, bro. It need a little bit of help.
But every deck is always good.
Every good deck also had to get banned.
Exactly. That's all it needed.
All right. So continuing with blue, I didn't see not one reboot Soul Striker. Reboot SS3, which is crazy to me because I thought all the baby players would have gravitated towards the untap 3 SS3, but I did see, I want to say about 4 blue babies, and it's funny because all the blue baby players that I saw were literally just getting matched up with Self Surges. It made no sense. And then when they did get out of their Self Surge match, out of the 3 or the 4 blue baby players that I saw, they got matched up against each other. And I'm like, yo, life just sucks for you right now.
Was anyone playing Blue Gohan? I'm just curious.
I didn't see it.
I didn't see it.
1 second. Let me think. No. No blue Gohan. I'm trying to think through. There's a Zamasu. I told you guys. Zamasu. It's speaking of Zamasu. It's not just the one that I said. They were also playing set 7 Zamasu. There was one person playing the regular set 10 Zamasu. Like I told you guys, the Zamasu, it could either remove a guy by tapping one, or it could either dual attack.
Yeah.
And they also played the set 7 one. And that set 7 one, I'm not sure, but it was at top tables because he ended up playing Duval. And it was, I think, second to last round. So there might be something there to it.
Hold on. So you're saying the leader that ramps your opponent had to play against the leader that kills its own energy for plus?
Yes, bro. That's what I'm saying. It was that.
That's pretty funny.
Like every single blue deck that I was paying attention to was so awkward because their matchups were just like they were getting crashed into like BS. But they might be something there. I couldn't stay and just watch it in one place, but I will tell you, up to the second to last round, they had to be undefeated because Andrew's undefeated at that time and point, and so is he. So it has to be something that I don't know what it was. Going on to green.
The second to last round was Rios versus Duval, and Rios was not playing Zamasu.
Was it the third to last round? It was something towards the end.
I'm not
sure what it was. I'm not sure what it was. No, it was one day.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what round it was, but they were at top tables. Going into green, I saw one King Cole, but it wasn't like something serious. I don't
Cell
think
surge. It's just cell surge.
Yeah, it was just a bunch of cell surge. I don't think there was any other green decks. No green gold tanks. No anything. No turtles. It was just day one wasn't like the majority.
There was a green goat.
Was it green
I
goat
played
tanks?
against it. I played against a green goatings.
Okay, I missed that one. So I missed that one.
His Celzino missed my baby hatch in hand.
I would tell y'all boys, this dude's lucky. I tell y'all all the time. I'm like, Sublett, it's better to be lucky than good, but some people are both. And my boy, he's just both, and it's the most frustrating player to play against in the entire world. Not only does he play well, but he will also just outsack you. It's ridiculous.
That's insane. So that was green. Moving on to yellow. Obviously, you had the Icarus day one. There was some Icarus, but day two is when they just flooded. Like everyone was playing Cell Surge and all the other decks, and mostly blue decks is transferred over. Yellow decks, Sync Shinron, it was the same player. That's the only Sync Shinron, if I'm not mistaken. It was so troll, but it's funny because he was playing anywhere all weekend. Other yellow decks. There was a day two is a Mecha Freeze.
There's a Mecha Freeze.
Yeah.
By the DBS god himself. Yeah, let's not talk about that. There's also one Helku. There was also
wait. Let's talk about that. What are you talking about? The original Mecha Frieza?
Yes, the original Mecha Frieza. I mean, in theory, it was good. Like if it's a format where people are attacking you,
whoa. I don't even think in theory it's good, man. I think that's a strong word that you're using there.
I mean, in theory, if the format is where people are just straight attacking you, you should be fine. But he ended up dropping after I think his first or second round because people just didn't attack, and that literally has nothing to do. It was rough. But I'm not gonna talk about that deck because it was just funny to watch. Other yellow decks, it was just dominated by Gohan Emperors, especially day two. Really speaking, that's when they just all came together and just did this a little orgy. It was crazy. And we talked about black decks already. So I just wanted to mention all of that. Just not only tell you, but to show you, hey, if you want to play a deck, go ahead and play a deck. I really feel like a lot of players just gravitated to what they saw was good. They didn't want to actually play what they wanted to play. If you want to play what deck you want to play, go ahead and do it, man. Like, there's a lot of innovation to be done in this current format.
Completely agree.
Yeah, I understand that Nats is coming up, but guys, don't let this format go past you because I feel like there's still some sleeper decks. I know 100% there's still some sleeper decks that have not been introduced to the meta, and maybe that strategy can get you towards Nats because I believe that set comes out the week before Nats. So maybe you could just 2 weeks before Nats, yeah. So maybe you can just go ahead and, you know what I'm saying, just get you right there and get your metal card at Nats, man.
You should start playtesting as soon as like cards are revealed, but like this format still has a lot of life left in it, right?
Yeah.
What is we have like slightly less than 2 months with like a bunch of online regionals. We got Richmond, we got PPGs coming up. Like there's a lot of tournaments this format. So you should start playtesting for Nats. I would say now, but like cards aren't revealed now. So like in the next 3 weeks when they're revealing cards, you should start playtesting very soon. But don't let this format is amazing. Do not let this pass you by. Go find you some PPGs, some regionals, some online, some IRLs. Definitely play this format. It's super fun.
Yep, that's big facts. Yeah, what Giancarlo said. But the biggest thing I'll tell you guys too is just like he said. I mean, he said it good. Just find those events. Go to Dragon Ball site. There's I want to say just a handful of webcam events left because it's PPG.
Yeah, there's regionals literally every week.
They refilled it.
What?
They refill the webcam regionals? Because I know there's more.
No, but they will. I mean, there have been regionals every week for the past 6 months. The webcams, there's going to be events.
The webcams are for 1 month, and they rotate it in real life and webcam ones. That's why I'm like, guys, make sure you play and get your spots, my friends. Because next month, I believe this is the last month of webcams. Then it's going to rotate to in real life events. So make sure to have your invite. And I mean, that's all for me.
Eddie, what's up? Eddie, here, I've got it brought up now.
On the site?
The last online event is this Saturday.
Yeah, PPG. Then it goes to Inner Life.
There are no other online events scheduled for after that.
Yeah, if you scroll up, you'll see it does it by month.
However, it does say September through October as the prize list thing. So it's possible that there will be more. But at this moment, there are no more announced for October. However, it would not be surprising if Bandai, by Friday snuck in a few October events.
Oh yeah, no LCQs at Nats, by the way. So if you don't have your invite, don't go to Nats thinking you can get an LCQ.
Mm-hmm.
Or side events or vendors.
No side events, no vendors. It's gonna be.
There's
okay. The day 2, there's one side event. You're right. Yeah.
What's the day 2 side event?
It's Unison Warrior Block only.
I wonder if
that's for the.
10
that's for those
12.
of us who will not have made it.
12, or is it set 10 through? Is this set included in?
That's a great question. I have no clue.
This is all Unison Warrior Block.
Is EB1 Unison Warrior Block?
Yeah, that's Unison Warrior Block.
I know it started at 10. But I thought it ended like at 12, and it's like a new cross.
No, it's still UW.
This is 100% GOAT format, boys. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, Rise of the Unison Warriors, titty, dude. Like, I love this format, but
you gotta start calling every format GOAT format, Eddie. It can't be the greatest of all time.
That's true. Will PPG be at the end of webcams? Is this Saturday? Matter of fact, you guys have to go register now because I'm pretty sure myself or George posted the link to send your deck list and all that good stuff. But it's this Saturday. I believe we still have some open spots if you want to join. And that's all for me. I can tell you right now there are. Yeah, there are currently. Yeah, attendance has been going down and down just for the webcam events period. It's just people have their invites, they're good. I don't know if like don't playing or whatever it is.
If you're interested in the PPG regional coming up, there are currently 115 spots remaining.
Yep. And worst case scenario, play 2 rounds, get some free new stuff, man, new swag, man. Other than that, that is it for me. Any last 30-second remarks?
30. We did closing comments 30 minutes ago. All right.
So stay tuned, guys, for the next time, which will be on. I'll jump on Wednesday again. I'll have more energy. I'll be awake. I'll talk some more. Other than that, thanks for joining in, and see you guys next time.
Peace.